Have you ever dreamed of owning a motorhome but got a headache just thinking about driving a giant vehicle through narrow city streets? If that sounds like you, then this video is exactly what you need. Small motorhomes, specifically those under 6 meters, are quickly becoming the secret weapon for people who want freedom without the stress. They hit that perfect sweet spot where you get a real living space, but you still feel confident weaving through traffic, parking near shops, and discovering hidden spots that bigger motorhomes can only dream of. That 6-meter mark is a bigger deal than most people realize. Stay under it, and suddenly, city driving feels a lot less intimidating. Tight turns are easier, roundabouts aren't a test of your patience, and you're not constantly holding your breath, worried about clipping a mirror or blocking an entire lane. In many cities, vehicles under 6 meters just blend in better. They attract less attention and often face fewer restrictions than their longer counterparts. That difference of just a few centimeters can completely change how usable your motorhome feels every single day. One of the biggest wins for a small motorhome is parking. With a vehicle under 6 meters, regular street parking becomes a real option, not a fantasy. You're far more likely to fit into standard parking bays, supermarket lots, and roadside spaces without sticking out awkwardly. This makes quick stops a breeze. Need to grab groceries, meet up with friends, or park near a city attraction. It's no longer a massive planning mission. You arrive, you park, and you get on with your day, just like a normal car owner, except your cozy home is right there with you. Then there's the driving confidence. This is a huge one. Smaller motorhomes just feel lighter, more responsive, and way less exhausting to handle in busy traffic. In cities, where you're dealing with sudden stops, cyclists, and tight lanes, this makes a massive difference. If you're new to motorhomes, you will feel so much more at ease knowing your vehicle behaves more like a large van than a rolling apartment building. Over time, this confidence encourages you to take more spontaneous trips, instead of second-guessing every journey because you're worried about the drive. Now, you might be thinking, what about the inside? Isn't it just a tiny box? Well, you'd be surprised. Modern small motorhomes are incredibly clever. Designers have mastered the art of squeezing serious comfort into compact spaces. You'll find fold-away beds that disappear during the day, front seats that swivel around to create a lounge, and multi-purpose tables that transform the area. You might not have endless empty space, but everything has a purpose, and nothing feels wasted. For many owners, this is actually a plus. Less space means less clutter to manage, easier cleaning, and a calmer, more minimalist living environment. Living in a city, or even just spending weekends there, becomes so much more flexible with a small motorhome. You can stay closer to the action instead of being pushed out to campsites on the edge of town. Imagine waking up near cool cafes, beautiful parks, and cultural hotspots, rather than having to drive for ages just to get to them. For people who work remotely or love taking frequent short trips, this setup feels less like a special holiday vehicle and more like a natural extension of your daily life. It's a tool for living, not just for vacationing. Let's talk about money. Fuel efficiency is an area where under 6-meter motorhomes quietly shine. A smaller size usually means lower weight, and lower weight means better mileage. Over months and years, those fuel savings really add up. It also means fewer stops at the pump and less anxiety about rising fuel costs. When prices go up, owners of compact motorhomes often feel the pinch a lot less sharply than those driving much larger rigs. It's a practical benefit that makes the whole lifestyle more sustainable in the long run. There's also a psychological benefit that often gets overlooked. A huge motorhome can feel intimidating, not just to drive, but to own. It can feel like a massive commitment. A small motorhome, on the other hand, feels approachable and easy. It actually encourages you to use it more often. Instead of sitting on your driveway because taking it out feels like too much effort, it becomes something you grab on a whim. A quick overnight stay somewhere new, a spontaneous city escape for the weekend, or even just a quiet evening parked by a scenic spot suddenly feels totally doable. It's always ready to go. Of course, choosing a motorhome under 6 meters does mean you have to be smart about your choice. The layout matters more than ever. Some designs will prioritize a larger bed, while others focus on a more functional kitchen or extra storage. You have to think about how you'll actually use the vehicle. Are you traveling solo, as a couple, or with a pet? Do you love to cook your own meals, or do you mostly eat out? Answering these questions will help you find a layout that feels perfect, not frustrating. It's all about matching the motorhome to your lifestyle. Another underrated advantage is how discreet a small motorhome can be. In urban environments, blending in is a good thing. Compact models just don't scream tourist in the same way. They attract less attention and feel less out of place parked on a residential street. This can make overnight stays feel calmer and more relaxed. You're not announcing your presence with a giant vehicle. You're just there, quietly being part of the city's flow. It's a more subtle and often more respectful way to travel. And finally, let's not forget maintenance. Smaller vehicles are generally less expensive to service. They fit more easily into standard workshops, and parts can be easier to come by. This practical side of things lowers the long-term stress of ownership and makes the motorhome feel like a smart, manageable choice rather than a constant responsibility that's draining your bank account. It's about enjoying the freedom, not worrying about the upkeep. Ultimately, choosing a motorhome under 6 meters isn't about giving something up. It's about choosing usability over excess. It's for people who value movement, flexibility, and simplicity. In our crowded cities and busy lives, that balance is more important than ever. If your goal is to find freedom without frustration, comfort without chaos, and a way to travel that fits naturally into your everyday life, then a city-friendly motorhome under 6 meters might be exactly what you've been looking for. Once you experience just how easy it is to live with, drive, and enjoy, you'll probably find that going any bigger feels completely unnecessary. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe for more tips on smart and simple travel.